Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise here, and it's Tuesday, and we are doing another live stream as usual. Today I'm going to animate, so we're going to switch things up a little bit. I'm trying to get another little test shot done for this animated short that we've been trying to get done for the last couple of years called Snow Bear. And so I'm doing a little shot, well, it's not a little shot, it's going to be kind of a big shot of him actually making the snow bear. And so we've got it all thumbnailed, and I've just done a few drawings on it so far. And so I thought I'd take you guys through that with me today, and I would do some animating, and you guys can ask me some questions. The images that you see behind me, those are all the thumbnails, and so I'm going to review those a little bit with you when we get started. But you can see, this. I don't usually do thumbnails this nice, but I wanted to do something a little nicer for when we do a little process video when we're done making this short. And as I always tell people, when you start animating, if you're illustrating, animating, doing a painting, whatever, thumbnail it first. Work it all out. Thumbnailing meaning these little drawings that you see. I work out the entire choreography in the animation, work everything out, and then I sit down and just kind of use that as my roadmap, and I start drawing. So that's what I'm going to be using today. And I'm going to be working in TV Paint. And let's see, what else have we got? That's what I'm going to be doing today. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. And while I'm pulling this up, I also wanted to say, as usual, I've got my trusty, dusty Dustin to my right.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Yes. I wanted to show you, I just did, where is it? Lion Brothers. There they are.
You know what else we forgot to do?
What's that? We forgot to pull up Nick.
Yeah.
Nick. Oh, that's going to be hard too because I've got all these images I'm going to be following. All right. Well, let's do this. Here's this is my model sheet. I just wanted to pull this image up. Can you go to the screen, Dustin? Yep. Okay, you're already there. I just wanted to show you this. This is something I did yesterday. I was kind of happy with. I sat down and I meant to start animating, and I wanted to do a little bit of warm-up drawing, and so I just started sketching, and then like 4 hours later, I was still drawing and painting, and ended up doing this. It's kind of a loose painting, but I like the feel of it. I wanted to do something kind of that had a lot of action to it and a lot of impressionism. I'm trying to get away from doing a lot of detail now and going a little bit more impressionistic with my paintings. And so this painting right here was an attempt in doing that. I call it Brothers. And it was a lot of fun to do, and it was something I was kind of happy with, so I wanted to share it with you guys. And I think I'm going to be doing prints of this. So, stay tuned, and we'll probably have some prints available soon. I got to pull up Nick. And also, in Sarasota, we have got, there's my Facebook page. In Sarasota, we have got Nick Birch, my business partner, and he is working very diligently to answer questions as well. I got to just do this. Sorry, guys. I'm just kind of behind today. I don't know what's wrong with me.
And do you want to announce the about this?
Or? Yes. Just 1 second. I'm going to get to that as well. I just want to pull this over and get this all set up. And we'll go Nick. Deep Thoughts with Nick Birch.
Nick Birch. Nick,
there he is.
the other thing.
There he is. Boom. I'm hoping. There he is. Hello.
Hello.
And the other thing too, this is very cool. So this is something else I'm excited about. It's a new year. We're getting new equipment. This is something we try to do. So you guys saw that we did an unboxing, and I did a demo of a new Cintiq 16, something that we want to use when we go on our travels. Well, I've also been wanting to upgrade my in-studio Cintiq, and so the business went ahead and got the next big Cintiq, and I'm going to be unboxing that on Monday. We're going to do a video, and then on Tuesday I'm going to demo it. But we've got I've got a big Cintiq 32, and it's sitting right over there, and it's huge. I'm working on a 27 now, and this is a 32. So it's a 32 Pro, and it's the Cadillac of the Cintiq. So The one that we demonstrated before was kind of the entry model Cintiq, which was $650. I got to look up with I can't remember what we paid for this one, but it's not. They're not cheap. I think they're about $3,600. But it's the high end pro model, and something we've been we wanted to get for the business for a while anyway, and so we went ahead and did it, and so we're going to be demoing that and unboxing that for you on Monday and Tuesday. So look for that. It's a very cool model. I got to use one out in California. Other than that, why don't we just dive in? I'm gonna jump over here. Dustin, you got it? Are we on the screen?
Yep. Awesome.
So here I've only just done a couple of drawings, and so first of all let me just bring these down. I want to show you the thumbnails, what I've done. So the idea behind this shot is this. Let me get rid of this. Okay, so these are the initial thumbnails right here. So what happens is he's sitting there, he's kind of forlorn, he's just sitting all by himself, no one's around, he drops his head, and he just kind of absentmindedly pushes some snow out of the way and looks around. But then he looks again, he's like, wait a minute. And he looks at it and reaches over and piles up some more snow, and then he sits up and you can see him kind of tapping his fingers and he starts looking around, and he gets up and he's starting to get a little bit more excited. He walks off screen, he leaves the screen, and then you see him come back. Look up at 14 here. He comes back and he's pushing a whole bunch of snow back. He's got a little pile, and then he's really excited. Now he runs off, he exits screen right, and then we see him come back in screen right, walking, carrying a big pile of snow. He drops it down. Now we've got a big pile of snow right here, and he starts to shape it. And he starts smoothing it out and shaping it. And then here...
And someone else, did you ever finish the other shot of him playing in the snow?
Not in color. We haven't finished it in color yet, but we do have it done, the pencil test. So here he sits down, so you can see he's standing up on number 24, and then on 25, boom, he sits down, and he turns around and gathers up a little pile of snow, balls it all up, smooths it out, and boom, plows it onto the top of the pile of snow that he's already had, and so it creates this nice little bear shape. And then he reaches down. I try to make it very thorough when I do my thumbnails. So then he reaches down, comes up with a little handful of snow and plops it right into the face, starts shaping it, and then he's got a little nose. You can see the little snout and nose. Then he reaches down, comes up with a little paw full of snow, and on one side of the head, picks up another one, and wow, here we go. Right here. Then he plops another pile of snow on his head and there. And now we've got the little snow bear. And at this point, I actually don't have the rest of it thumbnailed out, but I do have it storyboarded, which is where he just kind of turns around, sidles up next to the snow bear and puts his arm around him like he's got a little buddy. So that's that. These are the thumbnails that I'm following to create this shot. And like I said, I try to be very thorough with my thumbnailing, especially with mechanically complex shots like this one's going to be. I like to have it all worked out ahead of time. And often what I'll do is I'll take my thumbnails and I'll shoot them. YouTube comment. Last week you forgot Nick's birthday. Now you forgot him entirely. Hashtag sorry for Nick.
Hashtag Nick abuse. Nick did a thing.
Who the hell is Nick?
Who is Nick? I don't know who this guy is.
All right.
Martinberger asked real quick, can you show us quickly how to draw the skull of a polar bear?
How about I do this?
Don't destroy the green screen.
Here's the skull of a polar bear. Here's the actual skull of a polar bear. This is actually a cast, but polar bears are the biggest living carnivore, bigger than grizzly bears. Yep, they can eat my head very easy. Very big animals. But the skull of a polar bear is not so different than the skull of a grizzly, except grizzlies have a forehead. Polar bears have a much flatter head to them, as you can see in the profile there. So I guess before I get started, and here are the model sheets. This is the model sheet I put together for Snow Bear. Something I created for him. So that's what he looks like. Well, that's not Snow Bear. Snow Bear is the actual Snow Bear. This is Glenn. We're naming him Glenn after Glenn Keane. Yes. So his name is Glenn. But we'll bring Snow Bear right up there. I'm going to put him off to the side. Battle Tortoise on Twitch says, I like the sound effects today. Oops. Oh, don't drop your stylus. Okay, so let's come up here. Let me do a new thing here. So, oh, I don't like that.
How long have you been illustrating before you started to animate?
I was an illustrator. I went to college for illustration, and I was a painter, and I started learning animation when I was 21. Let's do this. There we go. So, a polar bear has a very kind of sloping head, comes down. I gotta look. Oh yeah, and a wide forehead too. Yes, okay, that's right. And the cheekbones come up and around. The eye, we have bones that connect down the side. Polar bear does not. Bone comes in like this. The eye socket is hollowed out right there. Then we have the same thing here. And then the skull comes basically down to here. Like that. And then this is going to come down. I'm going to keep it very simple. And, bears have a lot of the olfactory areas in there for their smelling.
How do I keep myself motivated when animating a complicated shot? Redoing it over and over again is killing me. Well,
that's just part of the game, baby. I know it's hard to stay motivated sometimes. You just got to keep your eye on the prize at the end. That's the best thing you can do. So here's the front. Basically, the chin comes down here. And then we got a big piece that comes down. The cheekbones kind of slope inward. Come down like so. Okay, so you got cheekbones here. That come around. They're going to come down. And then, I'm trying to do this very fast. Pro tip, don't wear a green shirt on a green screen. Oh, is this blending in?
No, it's not.
Oh.
It's not that bad.
And then there's the jaw coming down like so. And then the jaw, this comes way back and around because this is all muscle. And then the ridge, the muscle ridge there. So there's a very quick basic skull drawing that I'm going to now erase. And we're going to get into, let me turn this on. There we go. Now we're going to start animating. YouTube, Aaron, do you have any tips on how to make lines smoother? Don't shake when you draw them. I don't know. Just get confident with your line. I don't know how to make lines smoother other than, just don't drink coffee.
Don't drink coffee. That'll do it. What animal still needs its own movie, do you think?
What animal still need? I'm gonna take excuse me while I take my shirt off. It's getting a little warm in here. We turn the heat on. It's cold today. It's 62.
And now's a good opportunity for me to take my shirt off. All right.
All right. There we go. let's draw.
What animal do you think still needs its own movie? Because we got a movie on lions. We got one on bears.
What animal needs its own movie?
Yeah. What animal do you think needs its own movie?
Oh, I think a whale. Some kind of whale. So I'm just gonna create a held cell right now, and just put that on a hold. And I'm going to create just like a little pile.
Do you use Adobe Animation?
I do not use Adobe Animation. I'm using TV Paint today. I've never used Adobe Animation. And I've had people tell me it's pretty cool, but I've never used it. I'm going to make it a point to try it sometime.
What software do you use to record your speed painting videos?
I use ScreenFlow. This is it right here. You can see this icon down at the bottom. That's called ScreenFlow, and here is what it looks like. This is the recording that I did of the lions that I painted the other day, and what I did, it recorded at real time, and then I went in and sped it up. I just click right here, and it gives me the show clip inspector, and I can go in and I can type in the duration of how long I want it to go by. So here I wanted it to go by at 2 minutes and 29 seconds, which is at a rate of 5,510%. So if I put it in just 100%, it's actually a 2 hour and 15-minute video. That's how long it took to actually paint it. But I wanted to get it down to 2 minutes.
Is that software a Macintosh exclusive?
It might be. I'm not sure. I think it might be Macintosh. I'm glad you said that because I forgot about that. I think it is Mac exclusive. Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
How many skull drawings do you usually draw before you draw the living animal?
Oh, I don't do any skull drawings. I just think about the skull underneath. I usually don't draw the skull and draw the living animal on top of it. I don't do that. If you're talking about like doing skull drawings in order to learn the anatomy of an animal, well, I'll just do that. I really don't try to sit down and learn all the details of the skull. I just want to understand where the cheekbones are and where the muscles are. And most animals are the same from, if you understand comparative anatomy. So I really don't spend a whole lot of time on the skull because I already know what's underneath. What I do spend time on is understanding the proportions and how the angles work and that sort of thing. YouTube question, Aaron, do you have any tips on how to make line smoother? I just said that.
See my problem?
Adobe Animation is Flash. Oh, there we go. I don't use Flash.
You repeated the question. You do what I do.
I know.
What's your opinion on spray paint street art?
I think it's cool. I think it's very cool. I'm going to move this over a little bit.
Do you participate in Inktober? And if you do, how can we see your work?
I posted on my social media. Yes, I do. This past year, I think I participated about half the days, and then the rest of the time I was busy traveling. But yeah, I post everything on social media. So let me see. I'm just gonna take a break here real quick, guys. Sorry, I got to take a break from the questions and got to do I got to think about my next drawing. So he's looking down. He looks down at the little clump of snow. And I want him to lean into it. So if he's leaning into it, I'm just going to have him, the knee ever so slight, well actually not even coming up that much at all. So I'm just going to trace that back. And he's just ever so slightly going to be leaning forward. And here I'll probably get a little bit looser. You can see I've been kind of tight with my drawings. Here I'm going to go a little bit looser. Hold on, Dustin. And And what I want him to do, I'm going to have him turn his head just a little bit. Just so we get a little kind of inquisitive feel to him. Like, just like this. And his head is a little bit long.
When you're ready, Nick posted a question.
Do I use timing charts? Yes, that's a YouTube question. Do I use timing charts? I normally use timing charts if I'm working with other people. If I'm working by myself, I don't use timing charts because I have the timing in my head. So I don't need to worry about it. But obviously, if you're working with other people, they need to understand what you have in your head, so you need to have a timing chart. For those of you that don't know what a timing chart is, it's basically a little graph over on the right side that tells the artists that are following me up, the ones that are going to be doing the in-between drawings, where those in-betweens and breakdowns go. Because not everything is even. So sometimes one drawing will be closer to another. And the other artists need to know that. And so that's what timing charts are. So here I'm trying to just bring him out. I'll bring his arm out like this.
Ready for another question?
I just want to get up just 1 second. I just want to get his silhouette just right. Go ahead, Dustin. Sorry.
No worries. Do you do the cleanup as well?
Yeah, except I'm not going to do cleanup on this one. I'm going to keep it rough. I'm going to animate. These are my animation drawings right here, and you can see I try to animate fairly clean, but I still like a little bit of roughness in there. There he is, reaching over. And so let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find. Let's see. 144, like a dialogue bonus, blah blah blah. Making Snow Bear. Let me do something else here, real quick. I'm going to go in here and search Snow Bear. There we go. And I want the TV paint file. Well, I guess I can't get the TV paint file, but I will get. Oh, there we go. Hold on, Dustin. I'm just going to do this. I've got to. Whoops. Arg. There we go. So this is an example of. I don't have them in between yet. Actually, that's the wrong file. Boy, that's just nothing like messing up in front of everybody. Let me try this one. Yeah, so here it is all in between. So this is going to be the style of Snow Bear. This will be the drawing style. So I'm going to keep it rough. I want to celebrate the idea that it's hand drawn. So we're not going to go through and clean it up, or actually we're trying to save time as well. So I want to, I want to keep it rough, and personally, I think it's a little bit more interesting that way. Obviously, we're going to have colored backgrounds. We'll have colored, the characters will be in color, all that sort of thing. This is just pencil test, but the line work, right, like what you see here, is going to stay like this. We're going to keep it rough, just like this. I want to celebrate that rough line work that you can get when you animate roughly. So that's it.
And all this is straight ahead, correct?
That was straight ahead.
That was straight
yeah,
ahead.
This is kind of pose to pose that I'm doing here. And then I've got a YouTube question. Hi, how many drawings per second do you create for all your animation? You use the same ratio? Yes, and everything is at 24 frames per second. And so for the animation that I just showed you, where the bear's running through the snow, that's one drawing for. It's 24 drawings per second. There's a couple of places in there where I went on to twos, which means it's one drawing held for 2 frames. But mostly it's all on ones. This one here will mostly be on twos, this shot. So that means, like I just said, it'll be one drawing for every 2 frames. So it's 12 drawings per second. But you can still get away with stuff like that, and the eye doesn't pick it up. So here, I'm just trying to get this in just like, there we go.
Have you always used Mac devices, and do you think they're the best for digital art?
I've always used Mac. Whether or not it's the best, that's arguable, because I know Dustin here will argue differently. But he doesn't do digital art, and but
a little.
No, but not to the degree that we do.
Right.
But I've never used anything else. So for me, whoops, wrong one. There we go. For me, I don't know any other hardware. I mean, I've never used Windows. I've always owned a Mac. That's all I've ever owned. So I feel like, yes, that's the best way to go. Twitch question: what creative solutions do you use when you get artist block while animating or sketching? Well, I really force myself to push through, and eventually an idea will come through. The biggest thing you have to have faith in the process, have faith in yourself, and know that something will break through. And so that's the biggest thing that I do is I just start drawing, and eventually I get ideas. Now, if I'm drawing specifically for something like this, like here, I have a bear that needs to start making a snowman or a snow bear, and so I know generally the action, and so now the challenge is, how do I make it creative and how do I make it entertaining? And so that's the big challenge there. And I sit down and the challenge, you work that challenge out by doing your thumbnails like I'm doing right here, or like I've done already, and now I'm doing the drawings.
Where will these shots go after they're final?
These shots are we're gonna keep them right here. Nick will get them, and because Dustin, you're gonna help, and Nick, you guys are gonna be helping to color, and then we start cutting everything together in Premiere, and that's gonna be our editing software. Periscope question: for the thumbnails, do I have a limit of drawings for doing it? No, I'll do thousands of drawings for my thumbnail before I come up with the drawings that I like. And for Beauty and the Beast, there's a shot that I did that some of you guys have heard me talk about, where I animated the Beast and Belle in front of the fireplace arguing while she was trying to bandage him. And there is a lot of complexity in that shot. And I'm actually missing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just do a 5 over there. I did thousands of thumbnail drawings for that shot before I picked out the ones that I liked. So there's really no limit. It's just whatever it takes to get it right.
If this project was all that you were working on, how long would it take to complete this project?
Well, that's the thing. We're hoping, if we'd like to get it down to this is all that we're working on for a little while anyway. If we could do that, we could get it done in a year. But it's been taking a little bit more time than that.
Yeah, because of all the other projects we got going on, and and all the traveling, which we're really excited for.
You are.
You're not?
I'm traveled out, baby. If I could just sit and animate for a year, I would be so happy.
Can you tell us how your approach was when you designed a new character in Disney, like Rajah, for example?
Yeah, the first thing I did was I read the whole script. And you want to understand how those characters fit into the script. And not just how they fit into the script, but how are they, who are they? Like Rajah is basically support for Jasmine. but he's more than that. He's a confidant. He's her friend. You know, she's all she's got. He is all she's got, because she's kept, you know, in the palace for all the time. And so, you know, I want to make sure that I get that friendly kind of, almost, he's almost like a brother to her. And so I wanted to get all, you know, it's all of those types of things that I look at. And man, it's hard to draw and talk at the same time sometimes.
Especially when it's animated base.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I'm just trying to get this boop, boop. You know, so I want to make sure that I understand who that character is before I go in and start drawing. If you look at my character design course on my website, creatureartteacher.com, that's the first thing I tell you to do before you ever start drawing. Read who your character is if you're working for a film, or if you're creating your own film. Write that character before you start drawing. Fill him out, fill her out, whoever it might be, before you start drawing, so you understand who it is that you're going to be animating. Question: what size canvas and DP are you using for the animation? This is regular 1080. This is 1080. Twitch question: how similar does the storyboard's style need to be compared to the final product? Can it be radically different? Yes, and often it is. I mean, we have a lot of storyboard artists that would, especially at Disney, that would draw completely different than the style of the movie. I think it's better if a storyboard artist draws, you know, in the similar style. It's just it helps, especially at a larger company, because it helps the executives kind of envision. It doesn't take them out of the film. Sometimes I think storyboards that are way drastically different than the rest of the film can kind of take you out of the film. Now, if it's just the crew looking at it, the immediate filmmaking crew, then they should be able to, you know, cruise along with it and be okay. But sometimes, like I said, it gets so drastically different. It's hard. It'll take you out. And style too. Don't forget, you know, don't confuse style from clarity. If the drawings are just not clear, then that's not good. Or if they're drawn badly, you know, because I think the story artist in a lot of ways has to be one of the best artists on the film, because I think a story artist should know cutting, animation, as far as acting, expression, you know, all of that, because you're taking those written words, and for the first time, you're translating them from the page to the screen visually, and so you better make sure it's really good.
I just had a really funny idea, because you know how you have a hard time focusing when you're animating like this?
Or talking, you mean?
You're talking. But what if at some point in the future, like, we do a live stream like this, but you're just animating, no talking, but on the other end that everyone's seeing, they're just hearing elevator music.
There you go.
Like, this is what animation's really like.
Usually I'm rocking out. I've got Stevie Ray Vaughan on, or Chris Whitley.
Stevie Ray, that would be a good one.
I don't need that. I want that arc up there just a little bit more.
What are the disadvantages of working in a drawing tablet than a screen tablet? So if they can talk about like between like this kind of tablet that you're working on than the non-screen tablets. That's what we're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, like the Intuos, the ones that you look away from. Oh.
Yeah, for me, I see what you're saying. Like a regular, yeah. I think for me, the screen, the pen, they call these pen displays. A pen display is an advantage just because it's I'm drawing like I normally draw on paper. So that to me is awesome. And the disadvantage on using like an Intuos is that I'm not looking where I'm drawing. I'm looking at the screen. And for me, that was always something I had a hard time getting used to. Okay, question. Bambi or Lion King? Which one has the most tragic parent death? Well, Bambi's mom died at the hands of a hunter. You could argue that Mufasa's death is at least part of the natural order of things in the animal kingdom, even though it was a human story. So maybe Bambi's mom is more tragic? Boy, that's a good question.
I would say Lion King.
That's definitely, I mean, getting squashed by a bunch of wildebeest is a horrible way to go, but which one is, to me, the question is, what's more of a tragic death? I don't know.
Well, Bambi never.
Well, the king was the king.
Well, I see the point of view of the kids. Like Bambi never sees the actual death of his mother, but
oh
Simba,
yeah, you're right.
It's like, wake up, gotta go home. It's like, no. So that's why I say Lion King is the more tragic of the two.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Okay, Periscope comment. No, YouTube question. How do you cope with the bad feeling when you work very hard on a piece and it isn't accepted? It feels bad and I want to sometimes quit art. Well, you know what? That's just the nature of the beast. You know, almost every scene I did on The Lion King, the first pass was not accepted. It was just, I'd have to go back and make changes. That's life. Come on. You gotta, that's making art. That's just how it is. Let me turn this on. So we're gonna have a little bit of, hold on, I got another question here, Dustin.
Yep.
Sorry, hold on. Just rolling this snow over. Haha, my dad Greg has a party says, hi Aaron. Oh, your dad is Greg has a party? Oh.
Who's he?
No, I'm kidding. Greg has a party's awesome. You two used to work together back in Orlando. Yes, we did. I know Greg very well. Very well.
And Tori Mara writes, Littlefoot's mother's more tragic than both, to be honest.
Oh, did she get eaten by the Tyrannosaurus?
She got
or blown up by a volcano?
By T-Rex, I think. But you know, like I forgot exactly how it happened, but like she tells him to, like, how to find the gully.
Oh, and, right. Oh, you know, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Like in mid conversation, she passes away. It's like, mother, I'm like, no.
So here he's pushing that snow away, and it's gonna roll up into a little ball.
Yeah, there are a lot of kid animated movies back then that were just tragic.
I know.
You don't really get that kind of feeling nowadays.
No, they're afraid of whatever. I don't know. So here, I'm just having this little ball of snow just kind of come to a stop where he's going to go, hey, wait a minute. He, boom, flicks it over and it just comes to a stop.
If Da Vinci was alive today, do you think he would dig the technology?
Oh my God! I've thought about this a lot. If Da Vinci were alive today, first of all he'd be an animator. He was
an artist,
and yes,
as much as an inventor.
And yes, he would dig the. He would definitely dig the technology.
Technology. Voice recognition technology in a lift in Scotland.
So, I don't have anything timed out right, but I'm gonna have to change the timing. But I just want to get his at least through here.
And Lindsay's saying, congratulations on my new place. Thank you very much, Lindsay. And how do you keep your consistency in drawing while you're animating?
That just comes from practice, and I think about my characters in shapes. You know, for like the grizzly, this um, polar bear. You know, his shapes are very simple. He's got this kind of oval shaped head, and the ears are down here. I've got definitely a system for how he is built. And then he's got these big shoulders that come out to big arms. There's shoulders there. And kind of a long body. And the whole shape of the body is, you know, very consistent. Knees. His knees are right here. So, as far as getting his, let me just do this. Oh, I'm drawing on the wrong thing. As far as getting his shape right, it's I just got it all in my head. So it comes from thinking about building up with shapes, proportions to the shape proportions to one another, and just keeping that consistent. And then the details are just added on. They're just added little extra things. Aaron, what do you think about James Baxter? I think James Baxter is the best living animator alive today. I've got lots of animation heroes. Glenn Keane is one of my biggest heroes. Um, uh, uh, but James Baxter, there's a lot of guys that I really look up to, and but James Baxter, I've never seen anybody pull off what he does with drawings. And I first met him or saw James wouldn't know me. I don't think he would remember me at all from Disney. We worked in different places, and I compared to him, I was a grunt. So I don't think he would remember me at all. But I've met him a couple of times, and it was amazing to me that what he did. I remember the first shot he did with Rafiki. He was the animator of Rafiki, and Rafiki's looking in this bowl, and he's turning the bowl, and the way this bowl animates the ellipse and everything, and he just did it all out of his head. And what he does with horses and animals, and you know, the ballroom scene, he animated that with Belle and the Beast, and he's just an incredibly talented. I don't want to say talented. He's an incredibly skilled animator. He's amazing, and so I think as far as animators are alive today, he is the best. Does the cleanup guy have to know how to animate after you make the pencil lines? Yes. Well, they don't need to know perfectly how to animate, but they need to understand the principles of animation. Yes, so that they can retain some of the distortion and squash and stretch and the things like that you put into your drawings. They need to understand that. YouTube question: have you ever forgot to save and lost everything? Yes, I have. That's why I have everything on autosave now. I just instinctively just hit save just now.
I think we've all had that happen once or twice in our lives before. Do you think 2D animation will ever make a comeback after Mary Poppins Returns?
No.
No?
No. I would like it to, but I don't think it will. Mary Poppins Returns wasn't enough to get 2D animation started. And by the way, that was Ken Duncan's studio that did that, along with a few other guys. And I don't think they got enough recognition. The Ken Duncan studio they are a group of super, super talented people led by Ken Duncan, who's an incredible animator. And yeah, that's just an amazing studio that should have gotten a lot more recognition than it did from Disney for creating the animation in the new Mary Poppins.
And do you like Joanna Quinn's work?
Joanna Quinn. I don't know Joanna Quinn. So I want to have him kind of, what I'm trying to do right now, just have him kind of bored, and he just kind of flicks that snow, and now his hands are going to be sitting His arms are going to be down like this. Like so. Let's see here.
Have you ever had back or arm problems? I'm looking at the ergonomic chair.
You know what? I've never really had any back or arm problems from work related issues. I've done, stupid stuff to myself, but nothing that's been work related. I stay pretty. I tend to draw from my shoulder, so I don't have a lot of carpal tunnel issues, and I've seen some people that just really suffer through that. That's horrible. So I'm just going to have him moving forward. Foot up in the air, kind of coming forward a little bit. You can see I'm making little changes as he comes forward.
How many days a week do you life draw?
Life draw?
Life draw.
Oh, I don't life draw very often at all. It's not even a matter of days of the week. It's how many times a year do I life draw. And human figure life drawing, I hardly do that at all anymore. Yeah, I don't know. YouTube question. What was the key to make young Nala different and more feminine than young Simba? The gender of lion cubs are not that easy to distinguish in real life. Young Simba had harder angles, a little bit more of a mischievous look to him. I gave her more feminine eyes. I kept her lines smoother, less fur breaks. So,
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Just little things like that helped.
And also the final coloring their fur tones were different.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of it was in the eyes, and just the smoother, higher cheekbones.
Martin Berger asks, will you do a live stream on Thursday?
Yes. The live stream on Thursday, I will be demoing my new Cintiq Pro that's going to be replacing the Cintiq that I'm working on now. You want to go to the over the shoulder? So this is what I'm working on now. This is a 27-inch Cintiq QHD that I've had for a couple years now. And we decided to upgrade because Wacom has come out with a 32-inch, and so that is what we're moving up to. I'm a big believer in always having the best equipment that you can, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm upgrading, and we're getting the new 32-inch, which is actually behind the camera, still in the box. And it's giant. It's really big. So I'm really looking forward to that. So we're going to do a demo on that on Thursday. Oh, and it's going to be early. I got to let you know. We're going to be starting our live stream 11 a.m. Eastern time because I have to leave early.
Leave early, okay.
Yeah.
But are we doing the actual unboxing next week?
No, the unboxing is all videotaped ahead of time. Remember?
Yeah.
We're not doing that live.
But are we?
We're doing.
I thought we were going to do the unboxing next week when I was available.
Oh, you're right. So it'll be next week. Actually, I'm sorry. I've been lying this whole time. We're going to be doing the demo next week, not on Thursday.
You lied to me? What are you, a sheep? Yeah. So we'll probably be doing that Tuesday next week then.
Yeah.
But we're still doing this Thursday early because you got to go on
Yeah, I got to take my father to the doctor.
To the doctor.
Got to still take care of your parents, people.
You do?
Oh yeah, just you wait and see, Dustin.
That's gonna be fun.
See, every once in a while, you get a generation that gets stuck in between that has to take care of their kids, like I've had to take care of you, and you got to take care of your parents. I'm one of those generations. That's just how it is. That's life, baby. And it's an honor.
How would you color this animation? Can you show it?
Yeah. Let's see. Hold on. We've got, well, he's going to be basically white. I mean, it's going to be off-white. The background, I don't have the background pulled up. I'll have to show it on another stream because it's in one of our other files. But there we go, like this. So he's just bringing his foot back.
Does Dustin take care of you? Like telling you what to eat and remember to bring in the milk from the car?
No, if he did, I'd be dead. Dustin can barely take care of himself. The silence from the
Hello, darkness, my old friend. No, but I do help you a lot with the tech.
Yes, Dustin helps me with tech.
That's where my specialty is.
Yeah.
How do you calculate the timing without a video reference?
It's all in my head, baby. And I'm not thinking about timing at this point. This is what a lot of young animators get confused on. I know that I have to hit these movements. I know that I have to hit the posing. I'm not worried about the timing because that'll work out later. But I'm basically going through the pathway of what I know I know the movement he has to make. I don't have to worry about the timing yet. I just know the movement. So that's what I'm working on right now.
What's your choice of music while you work?
But that neck is getting thicker and thicker. The choice of music usually is blues or a little bit of I like chill out music, electronic, but a lot of singer-songwriter type stuff. I like everything. So here, she knocks the snow over. I was like, wait a minute.
It's like Austin just enjoyed the live stream.
Hello, Austin.
Hey, sister.
So there he is there. You can see how he's kind of leaning. He just slowly drifts over. What's happening is let me do this.
Ready for another question?
Yeah, hold on one second. So here, we're going to drag this right over to there. So if I play this, it's really quick, but he's looking up. It's going to be a much slower. He sits up and looks. He maybe inhales and looks over there. I think here is where he'll inhale and come down and look, and then he sees that snow, and then he just boop pushes it, and then this is where he gets the idea. Right there, it settles down. Like so. Hi, Aaron. Do you think about a TV show like Family Guy? Or what do you think about a TV show like Family Guy? Do you think they help to keep 2D alive? Well, they are keeping 2D alive because it's a 2D show. It's not obviously not the type of feature work that we do. It's not Disney style. but it keeps the industry alive. If you're looking for Disney style or that type of work, I don't know who's doing that anymore. I love the shows. I think they're brilliant. They're funny sitcoms. That's the space they're supposed to fill, is that sitcom space, and I love them. I absolutely love them.
When all the animation is complete, will there be music behind it? If so, what kind?
It's going to be traditional score. It's going to be a very peeled back score. It's not going to be really heavy. Maybe just a couple of instruments. And I'm still looking for a composer to do that. I have a few ideas, composers I've worked with in the past, plus a few people have submitted work to me that are interested in composing music for it. So we've got that to think about as well. So I'm going very slow right now because I'm talking so much, but let me get on to the next drawing. So here, I'm going to have him stop, maybe sit up. I want to take my time with this. Let me get that ear up here. That ear up here.
The ear
up here.
Up here. Ready for another question?
Yeah.
How has TV Paint helped lessen your production time?
Well, first of all, I don't have to shoot anything. You know, I I just animated and it's timed out for me right off the bat. So I there's that, and then for me personally, my personal style, I'm gonna open his mouth just a little bit. Maybe open his eyes a little bit. I gotta check. There's gonna be subtle expression changes. Sorry, I'm trying to talk and find a find a subtle expression at the same time. Sorry, but it's just helped me in those areas. Man, his head's really growing too. Yeah, that head's massive.
The head's ginormous.
It's ginormous. Let me do this. It's just I don't have any physical paper to worry about. I don't have. There we go. Let's do that. Everything's instant. You know, it's all instant, and other than the drawing, and I really like that.
Do you ever think about raffling off your old Cintiqs?
I haven't because we still use them.
Can you describe a regular day working at Disney?
A regular day working at Disney would usually entail we come in usually around 8:45. Work starts at 9, and it's a lot of talking around the water cooler or around the coffee maker, and most of us are in our office by 9:15, starting to draw. And usually we have a shot that we're trying to get out by the end of the week as animators, and you're working towards that. We'd usually work until about 10:30. Take a little break. Maybe shoot some darts. And then, there we go. And yeah, and it's just basically you're just working towards getting that shot done. So we're always, always working towards that. And then on a Friday, you kind of you're working towards making the deadline for the director approvals by the end of the day, and you work towards that. Sorry, I'm having a hard time talking and drawing today. I'm not. I thought it would be a little easier, but when I'm animating, I have a hard time talking because it requires a little bit different part of my brain, and I think it uses up my speech, the speech side of my brain. Earl on YouTube says, hello from Sony Imageworks in Vancouver. I got my animation team on Angry Birds 2 watching you while they work. That's awesome. How you doing, guys? I wish I was more interesting than I am today.
Do you watch a movie twice, or do you prefer to watch movies one time and you're done with it?
I prefer to watch them one time. I mean, there's a few movies that I'll watch multiple times, like anything, like Oh Brother or Big Lebowski. We were talking about the other day, my other favorite movie that I always forget to mention is Apocalypse Now. I could watch Apocalypse Now over and over.
Yeah, because I finally watched it for the first time last week, and definitely an interesting movie.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal, I know, but it's so well made. Oh, for the guys at Sony Imageworks is he's probably not. I'm just curious. I was wondering if Clay Cadis was actually animating or directing the second one as well. Probably not.
Second one what?
Angry Birds.
Oh. Wait, they're doing an Angry Birds movie sequel?
Mm-hmm. Angry Birds 2. So here I have him sitting up. I'll pull that knee up just a little bit more here. See, I have him more and more moving his weight over, ever so slightly.
Do you think you'll work on a feature film once again in the near future if given the opportunity?
I've actually been given the opportunity to direct about 9 times, but I just haven't over the last 10 years, or over the last 7 years. But I just haven't come across a movie or a production, or I shouldn't say movie or a studio that's in the right position that I've felt comfortable with saying yes to yet. And so, I mean, so the answer is yes. I would love to do that at some point, and I do think it might happen at some point. But I really love what I do now, and I love the life that I've kind of carved here. The way I work out of my home, and I work with you, Dustin, and all that, and I love all that. And it'd be hard pressed to give it all up, and at least even for a couple of years to do a movie. So I want to make sure it's the right movie. Tony Bancroft says, "Hi, Aaron. What is your goal to have this? What is my goal to have this short done? I would love to have it done by the end of the year." Hello, Tony. Tony. Tony Bancroft. He and I, we have history.
We have a history. That's
we have a history. Tony, do the thing.
Tony, do the thing.
For those of you that don't know, Tony Bancroft, animator of Pumbaa and co-director of Mulan. He's watching right now. But no, we hope to have this done within a year. It's just that we're just doing it right now. We haven't set hard schedules because we've been traveling so much. We're really just animating and storyboarding it when we get a chance. And so, but this year it's been our goal to kind of set some hard, fast scheduling dates to get this done. So here he goes. He's pushing. Well, now he's thinking. What is that? He's thinking. So now I'm going to have him reach over. I'm going to get a little looser with my drawings. Clay is not directing this time for Angry Birds. Okay. Clay Cadis is such an awesome guy. I really like him a lot. And his wife. They're really wonderful people. that I got to know at Disney before I left. All right, so he hits that little thing. So I'm going to have him reach over and just kind of pull it back and roll it back and build that snow back up. So I am going straight ahead. I'm going pose to pose, but I'm also going straight ahead. So here, I'm going to have him let's see. I wonder if I can do it in one big stretch.
Do you usually go to animation festivals?
Do I go to animation festivals? I not usually. I mean, I go to CTN each year in Burbank, and Bobby Chiu is starting one as well in Pasadena that I'm going to be part of. Speaking of which, I'm doing some stuff with him in England as well, and I've got to get I got an email I got to send to him. I just realized. But no, I don't go to a whole lot of animation festivals. We just don't have the time. We do a lot of travel, and it takes up a lot of our time. I gotta stop talking just for a minute.
Yep.
Do animators, a YouTube question, do animators receive residuals for their film work like actors in SAG or the Directors Guild? No, they do not. Unless it's not standard, no. Unless they've set up some kind of deal in their contract, which is highly unlikely. No. But you got to remember too, actors, like voice actors, relatively get paid very little for what they do, and so it behooves them to they're enticed to doing it more by back end deals because of how little they actually are paid. I think the most we would ever pay even an A-list actor when I was at Disney was about 15 grand a session, but they would get a lot of back end stuff.
By the way, Austin texted saying that she's gonna be stopping by with the kids around 2:45.
Ugh.
Just want to let you know.
My grandkids?
Your grandkids?
Ugh.
Don't you want to see your grandkids?
Ugh.
Won't you be happy to see your grandkids?
Ugh.
You're just faking it. I know it.
Of course I want to see my grandkids. What am I doing? See, this is what happens when I talk and draw. I'm drawing his foot on the ground that's actually up in the air.
You're losing focus.
I know. See, for me, painting or illustrating or character designing and talking is a lot easier than animating and talking. I can't do it.
Okay, a moment of silence.
Yeah, sorry. I just gotta sit and. Whoops! Shoot.
It looks like Nick does have something for you whenever you're
Nick. Oh, what's the meowing that you keep hearing? It's probably a cat. This is the meowing. This is Ruby. Say hello, Ruby. Say hello, Ruby. Ruby.
Ruby's like, nope. Get off of me.
No.
Let me go.
And up she goes onto my back of my desk. She lives in my studio here.
Does this animation bring you joy, Aaron?
Yes, it does, actually.
Manny, Yellowstone
Oh,
National
but
Park.
is it Manny? Oh, Manny.
Manny. What's Ruby's favorite food?
Ru-
Cat food.
cat or cat food, whatever that is. There we go. Get that down in there.
What's your cat's favorite food? Cat food.
Cat food.
Cat food. That's all I know. No more questions, Your Honor.
YouTube comment. I find it phenomenal that you can talk and animate. Isn't it true that Milk Call couldn't even listen to music while animating? A lot of us are that way. I can't listen to music, and I struggle so incredibly much to talk while I animate. Yes, that's true, because it really does occupy the same parts of the brain that you use when you do, like, talking and animating occupy the same parts of the brain. So it's hard to do both at the same time because you're overlapping areas. It's like, I don't know. I can't talk. I like to flop. If I'm having trouble with a drawing, I'll flop the drawing and continue on it that way. And that's one of the cool things you can do. On you just hit the brackets. Hit the brackets on TV Paint, and it flops everything. It's pretty doggone cool. Okay. So one problem I'm having is, if you look at his size here, I'm just going to copy it. So I have people that ask me, how do you keep it from growing or shrinking? Well, look how much he's grown. I still have that problem. His bottom half hasn't grown. It's just his top half has grown. So it's not drastic, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here. I'm just going, and this is how I fix it. Or at least in TV Paint, I have this ability to kind of fix it very easily. I'm just going to shrink them up, pull them down. Much better. Right in there. Much better. That's more better. And so now I can go back to my pencil. I can fix the drawing right here.
And that tool that you're just using to resize everything, that was the lasso, correct?
No, the lasso I used to grab the section I wanted to resize, and then it was the resize tool, I think. It's the transform tool. Right there. It's the transform tool. What is it? The transform tool.
Okay.
So there we go. Much better. He's reaching forward. But now what I need to do is hit this guy. This guy is a little bit big. So I got to do the same thing. Got to shrink him down just a hair. Pull him into here.
And Steve Hawthorne says, I love seeing this growth error. Always reassuring to see mistakes happen to the best. Animation is hard. It
is hard. And, especially if you're talking at the same time. No, it is. It's really hard. And it happens to the best of us. The growth thing happens all the time. That's such a common thing. But you really have to be aware of it. Like right here, he's growing in there too. You really have to be aware of it in order to keep it under control. So here I can get rid of that. So there he's back in the right size. There we go. That feels much better.
What was that one incident that you had with baby Herman?
Oh yeah, that was a nightmare.
But what was that a growthing error or was that?
Yeah, it was growing, shrinking, growing, shrinking, shrinking, growing, and growing and shrinking.
Just a lot.
That was just stupidity. Yeah, it was me being stupid.
Was it like when you're first just getting started?
It was within the first year.
Uh,
Yeah, it was just me not knowing what I was doing and getting called out in front of the entire studio and getting yelled at for it, and I was very embarrassed. I didn't even know what I did wrong at first because I just didn't have the experience, and it was horrible.
But you learned from it.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, sure.
When you get yelled at, you learn real quick.
All right. So here I want to have him come way down. See, I'll come back through and I'll tie these drawings down a little better. I want to get a nice line of action. Just like so. So he's going to push his fat belly. Let's see if I can get this looking right.
Let me know when you're ready for a question.
I'm ready.
All right. For the European trip, when we reach Ireland, are we visiting Galway? Galway?
That I don't know. I think we're gonna try to visit Cartoon Saloon. We're trying to set something up with them to go see them. But as far as areas, I'm not sure where we're going altogether yet. So here I want to get a nice clean line of action as he reaches. He's going to turn that paw around. Really reaching. Actually, I'm going to pull his head back just a little bit. Like he's, so if I'm reaching here, I'm going to reach like that. So I'm going to see more of the underside of his head. That just makes more sense, doesn't it?
It makes perfect sense.
You don't even know what I'm talking about.
Nope, I don't.
I gotta fix the head on the other one as he reaches. There we go. Question, have you ever seen or heard of Akira? Of course, I love it. If so, what's your opinion on the movie? I love it. I loved it. Who directed Akira? I can't remember.
I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, look it up. Hey, Dustin, now do the thing.
Dustin, do the thing.
want to get the eyes. Get the perspective a little different.
It was directed by Katsuhiro Otomo.
Got it. So here you can see I'm struggling with this drawing because I want to get the head angle right.
And he was also the manga artist for the actual manga series of that.
Is it manga or manga?
Manga.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Is it tomato or tomato?
Is it Akira or Akira?
Akira. There we go. I try to, even though the most important thing for me is making sure expressions come across clearly. So even in small drawings like this, and they're really loose, I'll sit here and work and work and work until I get that expression right. Because if it's not, it'll compound itself through the rest of the shot, and you want to make sure you've got it right as soon as you can get it right. Kind of a bad drawing, but does TV Paint do tweens? No, it does not do tweens. This is a hand-drawn software. You do your own in-betweens. You draw them. We do all of our drawings here the old-fashioned way, but with digital stuff. We do it old-fashioned digitally.
Which animal do you think is harder to animate due to its complexities?
Elephants are really hard. And I think, spiders and insects are difficult because of the number of their legs if you have them walking. Any four-legged animal is not, it's not easy. I'm going to push this leg even further out.
Everyone's talking about the proper pronunciation of manga.
Manga, mangoes. I love mangoes.
Yeah, the Japanese A's are pronounced with as a AH, like ah. Manga. It ain't manga.
I see. So I'm going to shrink this up just a little bit. I think I'm pushing him to his limit. Really stretching him as much as I want to stretch him. Yeah, and I think I'm going to take this arm and shrink it a little bit. Whoops. I got to get back to my tool. Whoops. There we go. I sometimes jump between Photoshop and this. I confuse the two. So that's a little more believable. Question is, I'm going to get that arm right up in there. It's a little bit of a tangent. Actually, I'm going to move it. Z, there we go. Yeah, I'll do that. It was creating a little bit of a tangent along the bridge of the nose. I didn't like that. There we go. So he's reaching down.
Ready for another question?
Yes. I love how Glenn curls his foot. Me too.
Since this resize tool isn't available for traditional paper animation, how did you fix these mistakes back then? Did you have to redraw the frame?
No, we Xeroxed them.
Xerox?
Yeah, we just Xeroxed them. It's funny you say that. We would just go to the Xerox machine and we would Xerox them. I mean, a lot of times we would redraw, but sometimes you wouldn't realize it and you'd have a whole shot done and you don't want to redraw the whole shot, so we just go back and Xerox the whole thing and cut and paste. We cut them out and paste them, and yeah, it was pretty old school.
Interesting.
Yeah. Pretty wild. Wild, wild stuff.
That's wild, wild stuff.
$226. All right, not bad.
We're almost there.
So he looks up, he's looking around, looks down, flicks it. And he's going to pull it back in. Did you use TV Paint already at Disney? No, we did not. Is it broadly used by professionals? Yes, it is. It is now. Or is drawing on physical light tables still more relevant? No, actually drawing on paper is just not relevant at all anymore. And at least not that I know of. Most 2D studios are either using Toon Boom or TV Paint, as far as I know. And for good reason. I mean, you don't want to have all the overhead of buying paper and all the waste and everything else. I mean, that's huge. That's a huge savings. So he's looking around. Let me turn this off. That's a little distracting. Looking around. Oh. Looks down. Flicks it. And he goes, hey, wait a minute. Reaches over and he's going to pull it in now. He's going to pile up a little bit of snow. Snow, according to this. According to my thumbnails. I'm almost through my first page of thumbnails here. So here, what we want to do is have him pull it up. I'm going to have him pile it. He pulls it up and piles more snow up with it. Let me get a copy of my first drawing because I'm going back to that basic silhouette.
The silhouette.
Silhouette. Silhouette of a man. Scamaroosh, Scamaroosh.
What do you do the fandango?
So here I gotta have him come back up. Basically to this pose. Jeffrey on YouTube asks, did you ever get to handle any of the original animation drawings of early Disney animators? I absolutely did. Old Bambi drawings, old Shere Khan, Pinocchio. Matter of fact, I have in my collection, right here, I keep this next to my desk as inspiration. This is an original. I don't know if you can see it, but this is an original drawing from Sleeping Beauty of one of Milt Kahll's original drawings of Prince Philip. Not Prince Philip, King Philip. King Alfred? Shit, now I forgot his name. What, I swore? I forgot. I swore.
You swore.
I gotta put.
You swore on a kid show.
But I got to. Anyway, this is a Milt Kahl drawing, and so I keep it next to my desk as inspiration.
Inspiration.
As inspiration.
Tomato, tomato.
Yes. So here I'm going to have him sit up.
Aiden would have said something like, "You just said a bad word."
Wait.
Wait.
My face.
King Hubert.
Hubert, yes, thank you.
And that was Erica Bay. That.
Oh, Erica. Hello, Erica. We know Erica very well. You met Erica out in California.
Oh.
They're from Alabama?
Yes. Yes.
So here I'm going to have them sit up really happy. And then I'm going to in between it. I'm trying to get... I want to get that thing there.
Which part of animating is the most enjoyable for you?
Once I have everything roughed out, you know, I like roughing everything, you know, the first, like this stage, I like doing this. It's extremely difficult. It's never gotten easier for me. It's always been hard. And so I enjoy it, but I really struggle through it. And I really love tying down everything once I've got it. Once I've gotten it worked out like this.
Barnbird writes, Aaron is finally swearing questions.
So here I just want to get that expression right. That's the other thing too. If I've got it figured out on my thumbnails already, then I don't try to reinvent the wheel. I go right back to my thumbnails and try to make sure that I'm following exactly what I did. I like this attitude that we found in the thumbnails.
Before this antique, I have seen animators working with two screens. Do you need two screens now?
Yeah, I use two screens. Can you go to over my shoulder?
Mm-hmm.
I use two screens all the time. Can you see the other screen on this?
It's just above.
Oh,
just at the top there.
Maybe you can go and move the thing. So I use two screens because the other screen becomes my reference screen. So if you look up here, this is where I keep all of my thumbnails. Usually I would have them blown up bigger, but this is Nick asking me questions too from Sarasota. So I've got to have a place for Nick to ask me questions. But I keep reference material up here. So here, in this case, it's all of my thumbnails for the shot. Other times, if I'm using reference for digital paintings, that's where I'll keep the reference. So I still use. I actually have three screens. There's another screen right here.
Yeah, that's so I can monitor the live stream, so that way to make sure that it's not freaking out or anything.
Yeah. So yes, I still find it necessary to use. There we go. Second screen.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have them pile up a nice pile of snow right here. Just going to sketch that out very lightly because I'm actually going to go in and redraw that.
Have you ever had quote-unquote injuries from long drawing sessions, like back or neck problems, cramps in the hand?
No. I did tear my disc once, my back, by turning off my alarm.
Oh, and the wooden uh, base for your Cintiq and for your monitor. You built that, right?
I built that. Yeah, I just built that from scratch. Went out and got some wood from Home Depot, and I got some molding, and I made a little frame box. You know, I made a frame box for the monitor to sit in, and it fits in there perfectly. And I got a couple pieces of wood around the back that are screwed in that hold it in place. And then I created this frame that's got wing nuts on it, so I can rotate the screen any way I want, and sits on these legs, so it's nice and stable. And I've got a brace across the middle that you can't see that my Cintiq sits on. So it all works very, very well. Is that your nostrils whistling, Dustin?
What?
I thought I heard you breathe whistling.
Nope. I mean, I've done it before, but
Yeah, Jim Jackson used to do that. Did I ever tell you about Jim Jackson, the 11th man that ever walked on the moon? Jim Jackson is a great friend of mine. For those of you that don't know Jim Jackson, he's the 11th man that ever walked on the moon. He works at Blue Sky, and he's one of the most incredible animators I've ever met. Go check out his work. His name is Jim Jackson, and he when he used to stand behind me when I go over his shots, he would either mouth breathe or sometimes he would whistle breathe through his nose. It was awesome. Jim Jackson, one of my closest, dearest friends.
just whatever you do, don't listen to anything that he says.
So here I'm just gonna go to this guy here. We're going to create a new drawing. Gotta retime it.
Do you know anyone that has or had a whistle when they talk?
I do it every once in a while. I can't do it when I try to do it. I'll do that when I'll talk sometimes, so I sound like a beaver or something. Who would win, a polar bear or a muskox? A polar bear would win in about 2 seconds. So one thing about muskox that people don't realize is muskox are actually pretty small. They're not very big. They only stand about 4 feet tall at the shoulder. But they're able to defend themselves from wolves and whatnot by circling up.
How about a bear versus a moose?
Oh,
Polar bear versus a moose.
adult moose? Probably, I don't know. That's a tough one. Polar bear might be able to do it. Polar bear is a big animal.
Isn't the polar bear the largest of the bears?
Yep. Largest land carnivore is the polar bear.
Really?
Yes.
How did you find your drawing animating style?
I did it a lot. That's the only way you find style. You find your style by doing it a lot, and whatever whatever you like is going to influence you. And then oh shoot, you know what I've been doing?
What have you been doing?
Arg! Been drawing on the wrong layer. Hold on.
Oh no.
Oh, I didn't draw that much.
Oh, you're drawing the feet on the ice?
Yeah.
Or with the snow?
On the snow layer.
Fun.
Oh, I hate me.
We got a lot going on. You got the live stream, you got the...
I know, I'm talking a lot. That's what's going on. Got to leave a little trail of snow. So there he goes. Pulls it up. There we go. Now let's jump back to our bear lair. Now we can draw them in. Eric asks, what's your favorite traditional medium to work with? Right now my favorite is charcoal. I just love working in charcoal. Because I first of all, it's fast, and I get impatient pretty easy. I love oil though, and you can't go wrong with oil.
Yeah, you used to paint a lot with oil.
I did, yeah, especially when you guys were young. I did a lot of oil painting,
I remember.
And I've kind of gotten away from oil painting in the last couple of years, but I'm planning on going back to it very soon, and I'm going to be doing a course in it as well.
That'd be awesome.
Studio oil painting. I love watercolor as well, and I'm going to be doing a course in watercolor next. Actually, after I finish this shot that I'm animating, I will be doing a course in watercolor. I'm going to shrink his head.
Is there a drawing medium you've never tried?
Blood.
Blood?
Yeah, I've never used blood.
Is there any other sorts of mediums?
No, not really. I can't think of any. I've never done any kind of aqua tinting or lithography or printmaking. Basically, I've never really done much in that area. Silver print. I can't remember.
When did you know that you wanted to be an animator?
When I sat down in Glenn Keane's office, I got the internship for animation, but I wasn't sure if that's what I wanted to do. I thought maybe I might be a background painter. But then I sat down with Glenn Keane, and he basically showed me what he was doing and what animation meant to him. And it so inspired me that I realized right in that moment that's what I wanted to do too. And so it was June of 1988. That's when I realized.
1988.
Yep. So I'm just going to I'm going to do a breakdown in here. There we go.
George A. Freeland writes, ballpoint pen and newsprint is nice. The basic big type pens used was essentially newspaper ink, so they work really well together.
They really do. I think I'm on. Let me see here. Yeah, there we go. I really like drawing on newsprint with Bic pens. It goes on so smoothly. It's really nice. Good call.
Very good call.
So I want him to come up kind of in an arc.
Have you worked with Copic markers before?
Yeah, I'm not very. I'm terrible at Copic markers.
That's how you pronounce it, right? Copic?
Yeah. I'm really bad at Copic markers. I wish I was better.
What are they exactly? Is it
It's the markers that I have in my bag, those gray markers.
Oh.
Those are Copics. I mean, I use the gray markers for adding value and shadow and that sort of thing for my drawings. But other than that, I'm not very good at them, especially not in color. Have you ever done any Bob Ross painting tutorials, like actually followed on his videos? I never have, no. But that would be cool. Be a lot cooler if I did.
Be a lot cooler if you did. Have you worked with Don Bluth, man?
No, I've never worked with Don Bluth. And I've never met him either after all these years, and I know a lot of We've crossed paths and we've been in the same place at the same time, but we've never met. He wouldn't know me from Adam. That man's a legend.
Have you tried ZBrush?
No, and it's driving me crazy because I want to. It's driving me crazy too, eh?
Take off you. Just sit back and enjoy the ride. Oh, okay. Wee. Nick's saying something.
Nick says, we might have a guest teacher do a Copic marker course. Yes, we will. We are thinking about that. So I'm going to have them pan Paul come over here. Got to get that arm just right, draw through. I get the shoulders right.
How did you come up with the name for your website?
Creature Art Teacher?
Yeah.
I actually got it from a friend. We were some friends over at Photoshop World. We were just spitballing ideas for what we could call what I could call the website, and I told them that I was wanting to do, a lot of animal tutorials and animal drawing, and plus I'd like to do creatures, and he was really great at coming up with just quick off the cuff ideas like that, names, and I remember him going Creature Art Teacher, and I went, oh man, that's perfect, and it stuck. And so when my website came out, I started calling it Creature Art Teacher.
Will Proco be doing any courses on your website?
We're not sure yet. He's coming here to record me doing a course for him, and we'll probably do something. We'll probably cross-pollinate further down the road. Twitch question: what's my favorite piece of animation from the 9 Old Men? Whoa, that's a good question.
It is a good question. Actually, just might fry his brain at this moment.
There's a lot. I'm trying to think. The stuff of Bambi, walking through the forest, anything with Bambi in it is some of my favorite, because I just love how natural they got with Bambi, and no one had ever really done that up to that point as far as animals go. So they really studied deer, and when they animated Bambi and Bambi's mom, they were animating real deer. And it was the amount of research and observation that went into that animation was just incredible. We take it for granted because, it's always been there. But we got to realize that these guys, not only were they inventing the animation principles that we all use nowadays, squash and stretch and all that, but they were really discovering how to create naturalistic animation as well. And the stuff that was done to this day just blows my mind. The stuff that was done of Bambi is just magical. And I think that was that Frank or Ollie that did Bambi? I can't remember. I think it was Frank or Ollie.
You're looking at me like
I know, like I was looking at Dustin like he would know.
Like you know more than I do in that field.
But I think it was either Frank or Ollie that was animating Bambi. I can't remember who. Someone else I'll know will know out there. You guys can correct me. So here he's piling up a little bit of snow.
I think he said these drawings are not very detailed. To me, they look finished. So what's missing?
No, these are, because I'm one of the problems these are finished. One of the problems that I have when I'm trying to animate and talk at the same time is I just start noodling my drawings.
Yeah.
If I'm not talking and I'm just in the animation mode, I go and I'll just blow through it very loosely. But I'm going slowly now because I'm trying to think of answering questions and trying to animate at the same time, and I'm failing miserably.
It's getting so confusing.
Confusing. Yeah.
Yeah. It just gets so confusing in my little brain.
Yeah.
Guten Tag.
So now I got to pile up the schnur.
Which is your favorite 2D animated movie?
My favorite 2D animated movie is going to be. It's either. Bambi is up there. Bambi is up there. Iron Giant is up there. Sleeping Beauty, because of the technical aspects of it, is up there. Yeah, it's tough. I've got a lot, but those are my favorites. I think I've got a lot. You know, Pinocchio is definitely one of my favorites. That's tough. That's a tough one to ask an animator. You don't ask an animator what's your favorite animated movie.
If you guys think I need to do some voiceovers.
Yes, you do.
And Martin Berger's like, haha, Dustin talking German English. Yeah, one of the biggest things I wanted to do for a while is to get into voice acting, especially a lot of dub overs, like for animes and things like that.
Yeah.
I just never quite figured out how to get into that sort of profession, you know. But at this point, I'm not too worried because I'm perfectly comfortable where I'm at now. I now just do it for fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of
you gotta speak up because I don't know if they can hear you.
Okay.
Because when I watch the playbacks, you're kind of muffled sounding. Oh, is that? Do I hear grandchildren?
Yep, they entered probably a couple minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, and it is 2:53. We have grandchildren here. I'm sorry this got you guys. It was kind of a lame animation. I hope you learned a little bit, and just in like posing and using your thumbnails. But like I said, I struggle a little bit when I'm actually rough animating and talking at the same time. So I learned a lesson. I will probably not do this again until I'm actually in betweening. Because in betweening I can talk and there's no problem. And you guys will be able to see a little bit more animation. So I apologize for that. But I do need to go because it's time for Grandpa. I got to go into Grandpa mode and watch the kids for about an hour or two before I go back to animation mode again later on in the afternoon. But I really enjoyed it. We're going to be back again on Thursday. And hopefully I'll have a little bit more done and I can do some breakdowns. I won't have the whole thing animated, but I'll at least have enough done that I can do some breakdowns and maybe talk a little bit better. I'm sorry my question answering skills were kind of in the gutter today because I was trying to think about how this guy was going to emote, and I was struggling with that. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. And remember, this is done on Wacom Cintiq 27, which you don't necessarily need one that big, but the software is TV Paint 11, and I highly recommend it. They do sell student discounts, and so they're really great. And you can also get a huge discount on TV Paint if you become a member to my website, creatureartteacher.com. The discount that you get on TV Paint is almost equivalent to the cost of the actual membership to my website, so it actually pays for itself. So if you're interested in that, go check out my website, creatureartteacher.com. And like I said, on Thursday, I'm going to have a lot more of this done, and we'll probably have a little bit more timed out so that you can see it play. But remember, Thursday, I'm going to be early. I'm going to be coming on at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. 11! Instead of our usual 1 o'clock, because once again, we got to take care of our parents, folks. We got to take care of our family. And I've got to take my father to the doctor. So I'm doing that at 1:45. And so anyway, I will talk to you.
There it goes.
There's the baby. I got to go. So I'll talk to you guys later. Put some beauty back in the world. Put away your grocery cart. I got to go take care of my granddaughter, Dustin.